Raspberry Cupcake, or Fraulein Maria, as it is also called in Germany, is a rose bred by Cordes Roses in 2008. I have always found this rose to have a very old rose feel about it, and nearly historic feel about it. The rose itself is hardy down to zone 6, and it often tends to grow to about 80 to 100 centimeters tall and about 80 centimeters wide. So you get a decently medium-sized bush out of this, I'd say. My main issue always with Raspberry Cupcake or Fraulein Maria is the flowers really don't tend to stand up to rain that well. They tend to want to ball up, they tend to want to get water damage. That said, though, that is nearly the only thing I can find that is wrong with this rose. Maybe except the fact it can sometimes bleach out in the colors. You'll often hear it described as this more raspberry pink color. Or some people even say purple color. It might get closer to that if you place it in a more shady space, but this rose doesn't really like shade that much. It'll start blooming less for you. So, to be honest with you, it is kind of like more pink in my opinion, or some would even say this more lavender pink sometimes. It is not a warm tone pink always. It can get a more like colder tone pink to it. The fragrance itself is often citrus and spice for me on the scent. If I had to describe it in another way, I would say you can get these geraniums that you can kind of touch, and the leaves, they kind of smell of citrus. And it is kind of the same citrus I'm getting on Fraulein Maria, Raspberry Cupcake. It is this citrus at the beginning with some spice at the back, or in this case, some citrus at the beginning and some geranium notes at the back. But this one is a good one if you like the citrus scent. Now, how would I rate Raspberry Cupcake? I would rate it 8 on health. There's nearly no health issues on this one. And I would rate it 8 on fragrance. You have a very decently potent citrus and spice fragrance going on this one, or geranium, as I said before. The flower, I would rate 7.5. To be honest with you, the flower tends to want to ball up, it tends to want to get water damage. So that is a real issue with this one you have to be aware of. The form, I'm just going to give an 8. It reminds me of a lot of historic roses like the Portland or the Bourbon roses. It wants to form a nice medium-sized bush. The storytelling, I'm only giving 6 because there's not really a lot of color change except for natural fading in the sunlight. It does, however, look like more historic rose, more old rose in my opinion. The final score for me is 37.5 out of 50. Don't let that keep you off from this rose, though. It is a wonderful rose, in my opinion. It just has a very unfortunate tendency to ball up in the rain and to get water damaged. But it likes to flower very decently. It is also very healthy, and honestly, the only issue I can put on this one is not fragrance, it is not health, it is that balling in rain tendency, and also the fact that the flowers get water damaged easily. And maybe sometimes also the color is not always that true, but I can look past that. So to be honest with you guys, amazing rose as long as you can tolerate some water damage on the flowers.